Hey there everybody, DAsonicfan here with a little bit of a different video, so I'm not going to greet you guys like I usually do. This is going to be kind of like a video where I sort of just talk or give my thoughts, and I might do more of these because I kind of feel like they're really fun to just talk about stuff because I already do this with myself all the time, by myself. It's really a lonely thing to think about. But I have these conversations where I think about things that I can talk about where they would be in videos. So let's get right into it. So pretty much recently, Hatsune Miku has gotten pretty, I guess, influential. The character has always been pretty popular in a sense, or well, not in a sense, in an actual sense, influencing a lot of things and being involved in many other things and spreading into other whatevers. But I find it interesting because recently I came across a tweet where it was pointed out that Hatsune Miku was actually featured in an official English exam for Ireland today. And this is like a really important exam too, because it's for kids or high school students to graduate from secondary school so they can get into college, or is it university? I forget. I know it's like the terms for certain stuff for certain schools are different in other places, but pretty much it was described as like, this is the kind of test that they have to take to get into college. And I find it pretty interesting because of, well, pretty much what it is. And this is a tweet by RT Game Daniel at RT Game Crowd. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check it out if you really want to. And you could even go over the tweets and see like how much else is there. It is pointed out that in one of the English sections for this Ireland 2021 certification exam, there's like 2 sections about Hatsune Miku. And the first is a short essay about the character's fame. And then questions like, would you prefer to attend a real performer like Lady Gaga or a virtual performer like Hatsune Miku? Interesting because, well, Hatsune Miku was like the opening act for one of Lady Gaga's concerts. Still crazy when I think about it in my head. And then there's also stuff like music has been important to human beings from earliest times. Explain the importance of music to your life. These are pretty open-ended questions. Like, you're able to give your thoughts. But then the other thing is that right after, there's a question which asks the students to write a short story about Miku coming to life. Basically want you to write a fan fiction for the character. And that idea alone is like, we're writing Hatsune Miku fan fictions to get into college now, right? That I find that really funny. And I've been like going through, I've been seeing stuff like how she's also appeared in Chile for a language textbook, and then in another thing for like musicology. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, I think I did, but I just forgot. But this is really interesting. I've been trying to look more into it. I might actually like do another video where I go more in depth over Vocaloid or Hatsune Miku's involvement in the educational system, because this is really interesting, especially because it brought up a few memories from my time in college during 2 of my classes that Hatsune Miku was brought up. The first was one of my Japanese language classes. I think it was like my Japanese 2 class. And the second was during a design class, like an art and design class. I actually forget. I think it was an illustration class. I do not remember specifically. I remember what happened, but I don't remember the class. But for the Japanese class, basically, you know, we sometimes get some history lessons and other things along the way to like explain things to get you more involved. Oh, wait, no. There was another class. There was like a Asian pop culture class because it was part of like an elective. And she was brought up there because, of course, why not? But in the Japanese class, pretty much the teacher wanted to show us some songs or something from Miku or done by Miku, because we were listening to some Japanese music and trying to see what we can understand. Or I guess try to like pick out something later so that we can try to translate it ourselves to use as like a thing for class. I remember the specific song. She brought up Romeo and Cinderella, and I remember getting really hype about it too. I jumped up a little. I didn't get all the way out of my chair. Like, I lifted myself up a little and I was like, oh, and I had to muffle myself. And my teacher looked like darted to me specifically, calm down. Oh God, I think about it now. It's so embarrassing. Like, I get excited for certain things. And I was on the high from like the 2014 concert going into because this was in 2016 too. I remember it was in 2016 and the concert was close. It was like two months away. It was 2 months away. No, it was literally a month away. And I was just like, oh my God, man. It was more embarrassing than the time I answered a Japanese question in Spanish. My bilingual brain couldn't comprehend, so I answered in Spanish. The second Asian class, the pop culture class, it was more of, you know, to inform us. Like, we would learn about like things involving pop culture, like manga and then video games, things like that. Things that, you know, the basic understanding of pop culture. And then Hatsune Miku was brought up briefly. It was like right after we got through Godzilla. That was great. That was really great. That one was more or less just telling us about it. This happened after the whole Japanese class thing. I learned from that, so I kept quiet. I just raised like an eyebrow, like, Miku. And then the last one, this one was really funny. It was like a design class. Was it an illustration class? I really can't remember for the life of it. But what I remember, this was like one of my last classes at the end of the day. And the teacher was very strict, and also she was very passionate for certain things. I didn't like getting too involved with things because a lot of times I would not raise my hand for stuff because I don't like confrontation that much in a class setting. I don't want to embarrass myself, although that's a good way to learn. I remember it was like end of the class. There was like a few minutes left before class, and then she was trying to bring up like character design so that we could try to be unique with our design. And then she brought up examples from like Pixar, Disney, stuff like that. And then eventually we got to anime because I think she said someone drew like an anime thing before in her class. She didn't want to really see something like that unless you could make it like more unique, right? Give it your own style, because it's like, oh, you're copying anime. I'm not trying to play down any like art teacher because yeah, they know what they're talking about. Some of them can be like a little bit hard-headed with that, but I'm very thankful for the knowledge that they've given me. She basically like would search up anime characters or something like that. I don't remember what exactly she searched up, but she got like random characters, right? She got 2 characters. One was Hatsune Miku and the second was 2A. No, wrong series. 02. First she went to Miku, and then she didn't know anything about either of the characters. She brought her up, and then we went over like the color scheme. I think like her green cyan hair pops against like the gray with the blacks. I'm taking the knowledge, and I don't even remember what she said about Miku. The funny thing was when she got to A2, oh my god, 02, she brought up like how same looking her face was. It was like a simple design, looks cute, but you know, it wouldn't really cut it if we were gonna do stuff like that in our projects. And then she went to like 3 other pictures. All of them ended up being more of 02. And she's like, this girl? Same thing. Looks exactly like the glass girl. You gotta be more unique than that. And me, having just finished like watching Darling in the Franxx, I think a few months prior, I wanted to say, Professor, no, that's the same character. 3 of them were like official. And then I think the last one was like fan art. And then she said, they're literally the same character, can't you see? And I wanted to tell her no, because she thinks that they're all different characters. And then I wanted to tell her no, they're the same character. I wanted to avoid confrontation because she kind of felt like a teacher that she would start arguments, but she would want to hear your opinion. And it was literally close to the end of class. I also felt like she would think that I would get emotional, obsessive. I would be hurt by bringing it up, like, oh, I'm defending this. I didn't want to get into all that. I just wanted to go. I would literally sit near the door, the exit of the classroom, because right after that class, I had to go to work. I would always be like, I want to leave 2 minutes before class ends, because if it took longer, I'd be late for work. It's really interesting, especially all this is just really fun to think about because I didn't really think about how involved Hatsune Miku would be in like so many other things other than, you know, the media, like music, games and stuff like that. Thinking about that and then remembering that it was actually something I also had experience with in my life was really funny just to think about. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't really know where I was going with this. I kind of wanted to just get my thoughts out on this subject and make a video. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do more things like this. I don't know. So with that, peace out.